Hello, pile number one, and welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. So, I have some messages for you from some past or loved ones. Before we jump into the reading, pile number one, please keep in mind that this is a general reading. So, I'm going to do my best to translate personal messages into general collective messages. And I've got an itchy nose, so that tells me you guys have quite a few spirits around you. In particular, pile number one, I did a bit of meditation before I started your reading, and the song that came through for you was Euphoria by Kendrick Lamar. You can go and look into that, and each and every one of you who do will interpret it and personalize it differently, internalize it differently. So allow your intuition to guide you when you do go and look into it, if you do. Otherwise, what this is telling me is that the spirit that is most dominantly with you is someone who comes to represent more than just themselves. I would say this is someone from your family, your bloodline. This is someone who is quite close to you and is known as a warrior, or someone who confronted heavy and striking truths. This person was very good with their communication, and they also probably enhance your desire to want to express passionate truths as well. So this guide would, from what I'm getting here, this guide could affect your left shoulder. This is because if you guys get like random pains in your left shoulder or in your back, somewhere on the left side, it's to do with what it is that you oppress, that is an emotional truth of yours. And it's usually things that you perceive outside of you that trigger you, but you oppress your truth. It's time to start stepping into speaking what is on your mind and what is on your heart and what is important to you. That is the main repeating message here. This guide, because that's what it is. This is someone who has passed away and adopted becoming one of your spirit guides. They come with a particular reason. There's something here that they're wanting to help you put a rest to. They're very protective of you, very fierce. It's giving warrior. It's giving very masculine energy, but it's also giving very nurturing energy, like I will do whatever it takes, whatever is necessary for me to protect you in whatever way I can. So that's the intention of the spirits that surround you guys. I also feel as though if any of you guys have been worried about your health and well-being, if you have been going through a disease or a sickness or healing from something, you are going to live and you're going to be very healthy. For those of you that have been worried about your life journey, you are going to live as well. You've still got some very good years on you yet, pile number one. That won't be for all of you. It's just for some of you who have been worried about the longevity of your life. You've still got quite some time to experience life just yet, pile number one. So I also heard that the numbers 6, 44 and 2 moments, 6, 44, 12 in the 1960s. So someone could have passed away in the 1960s. Someone here could have been born during the 1960s. I don't know. It could be significant for your bloodline. The other thing that it could be is something took place in the 1960s along your bloodline, and this could have been when this spirit had passed away. Did I say that already? For some of you. The other thing is, if you guys have been asking questions or waiting on a reply, I saw 9 o'clock and 7 o'clock being significant to you guys. I don't know if that's AM or PM. It could also represent the 7th or the 9th day. It could also just not mean anything for you guys at all. I'm just throwing out what's coming through the channeled messages. Okay, let's go ahead and see who is it that surrounds you guys. What spirits that have passed are surrounding those who have chosen pile number one? So you have the prison, you have the earth elements, you have the princess, you have battles and wars, which I felt coming through the energy of the spirit that surrounds you guys. And then you have predator and survivor. Okay, you guys are definitely needing to break free of what your spirit team or what the spirit guide is perceiving to be as something that is not good for you. This could be either exploration of temptation that you know is only leading you down cycles of self-sabotage, with the prison wife being here. This is a guide who probably came from a past time that was either witness to war or witness to a lot of reasons to personalize poverty consciousness. This person was incarnated during a time where there was corruption and power and a lot of control placed over their lives. This person had to hide quite a lot of who it was that they were and their potential, their honesty and their truth during their incarnation. And in a way, this protected the purity of who it was that they were at their core. Sorry guys, I had a card drop. Wait for winter. So this is saying that things might be quite slow for this energy. When they were incarnated, this being probably felt as though they weren't getting what they deserve, what they needed. They kept going through situations where they would gain a little bit but lose more than what they would gain. This is like giving someone who had to pay a lot of money to get to the job that they were working at, and it was so much so that there was almost no point working at the job where they were, because they were losing more money getting to and from their job than what they were just doing the job itself. Does that make sense? That's the energy that this is giving. This being could have also spent some time in prison, or they felt like they were just held captive. And like they were held down, like they weren't able to be themselves. They had a desire to kind of become their own hero, because they were in a time where they were taught to believe that there was a savior coming. There would be a new hope, there would be a miracle that would take place that would set this energy free in their past life or in their time of incarnation. But instead, this person actually adapted and got in touch with their survival instincts, learned how to master that part of themselves so that they could become their own hero and make a way out of some form of poverty, some form of control and oppression, corruption. I would probably say tyrannical leadership as well. Like there were leaders in this person's time that were quite tyrannical. Like they were supposed to be forces that were positive, that were actually working against the greater good of all involved, and this was someone who saw that. They're saying now as well that they're here with you and they've chosen you because you two are in a similar time and in a similar alignment, and this is a guide that's wanting to help you through cycles of growth. This is a guide that's wanting to help you to learn what it means to truly rely on yourself, so that you can have confidence in your ability to survive and see yourself through the trials and tribulations of life. I see here another number that is significant for you guys is represented by number 1, 17, and 31. Independently, I think you guys have been spending time self-reflecting a lot more on where it is that you've come from, and you guys are starting to see how it is that your past cycles have grown you. You're going to be seeing yourself and your abilities and also your struggles a heap different to what you used to, pile number 1, because what this guide is working on helping you with is seeing the more. What this guide is wanting to help you with the most is that this guide is wanting you to see the goodness that has come out of the bad. Say, for example, random example and, you know, allow it to resonate however it fits best. You're making my hot water bottle, by the way. But it's giving like someone was in a tragic accident where they hurt their back so bad, and it was so bad that they and the doctors believe that this individual would never walk again, when in fact this individual kind of prove the doctors wrong by spending time, taking time, working things out for themselves, learning about themselves again and how they function, things like that, and then getting themselves back into a state of walking independently, confidently, and comfortably, you know. That's what this is giving. This is a guide that's wanting you to empower yourself more and learn more about your strengths and how it is that you can apply yourself in your life that will help you to live the life that you're wanting to. What I heard was that you've also wished for. There's an underlying need here that this guide keeps bringing up as importance for you, pile number one, and it's how you undermine yourself, undervalue yourself, how it is that you talk yourself out of the best of ideas that you have, or thinking in ways where you block yourself from progress. This guide is helping you to cleanse yourself of thinking patterns, ways of being that works against your highest potential or highest good. So I think you will find that when this guide is around you, they provide you with clarity about what is not good for you. You'll get this in the sense of feelings, ideas. You'll start thinking about the past choices that you made, and instead of seeing your past as things that you should judge yourself for or hold against yourself or that you take too personally, this is a guide that helps you to see your past and your choices objectively. This is a spirit that will enhance your ability to kind of be with stillness so that you can wipe a slate of a preconceived notion clean and allow clarity to come to you. This is what this guide does. They like orchestrate stillness and silence and quiet for you. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it helps you to download information much more clearly. It helps you to self-reflect in ways where you're not using the truth against yourself, and instead you're seeing the truth as a new starting point of progression. So don't be surprised if over this next week or 2 to 3 weeks that you start having a lot more self-realizations, a lot more self-confronting discussions with yourself, especially when you are alone. These are invitation points for you to heal. The reason why this guy keeps bringing up certain feelings or memories or emotions and focuses of perception is because there's a deeper knowledge or clarity behind what you're being reminded of. And I think what would work in your favor is that you really do spend time with what is popping up intuitively for you. It's coming up to help give you the motivation it is that you need to move forward in your life, to learn as well from what doesn't work. Learning from your past errors is going to be like the key for you guys during this time. That's what's going to help you to overcome any challenges while going through this alignment and orchestrated event. Now, when it comes to the event, I don't actually know what the event is. 2 seconds. Let me see if I can get some more information from Wairua for you guys. What is this event that I keep hearing about that is going to take place for pile number 1 that the spirits are helping them with? Patience and Stillness just came out, which is the resting tree. The event is what it is that you've been working on manifesting the most. There was a wish that you had made that has been outstanding for some time now and it's going to come true, but you're being called to have patience with yourself. Make yourself and what is most meaningful to you of utmost importance. Make it a priority and you will see that you will start to support the result that you've wished for into being. The reason why the spirit is around you dominantly right now is because they want to help you make your dreams come true, part number one, but they can't help you make something come true that you don't believe to be true. Does that make sense? So what this energy is mostly doing is helping you to reconnect to yourself, to believe in yourself, to heal yourself, and to love yourself into a power position that will help you to feel confident and ready to step into the occasion of supporting your own dreams into manifestation. Those are the messages I have for you today, pile number one. Thank you so very much for stopping by. I hope this has come a positive service, and with all that being said, until next time, bye. Hello, pile number two, and welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. So the song that I got for you guys was Kill Bill by SZA. Now this was interesting because this was telling me about the energy that could be surrounding you, and I got a few different messages, so please take it as it resonates, you know, and please don't think that this reading isn't for you if I don't touch on anything that is relevant just yet. So the first message that I got, for those of you who are in a relationship and you are committed to someone who has come from a previous marriage or previous relationship where their partner had passed away, this is a spirit that is surrounding you guys. They make a lot of noise, bangs, crashes, doors shutting, opening and closing. Some of you, they do funny things with your jug, or like the lights, they flicker, or like technology is funny. That's when this spirit is around. They come around you because first of all, they're checking on their loved one, you know, and then they're checking on you and your intentions and how things are between you and you know, the person that they were with before they passed. It's nothing to be too worried about. I mean, so long as your intentions are pure towards the person you're with, you really do have nothing to worry about. However, for those of you who might be like just seeing this person and not taking them seriously and you're not committed, I'd be careful, because the spirit that comes and goes is a protector of the person that you are with. Now, for others of you, this is a spirit that is with you, helping you to heal heart chakra wounds, helping you to get over a past relationship, or helping you to get past wrongdoings through love connections in the past, which has created like a form of trauma or fear in love when it comes to being vulnerable with others. This is what feels like a very feminine energy to me. This could have been like a mother, a best friend, or someone that you spent a lot of time with, like an ex. If you've had an ex pass away, that's who is surrounding you. For others of you, this is like a very motherly figure. It could be a grandmother, a mother, or like a guardian who helped to raise you, that has passed away and is with you. They also protect you in relationships. So if you've been through a connection recently that went into the shitter because you found out some really harsh truths about the relationship, this is a guide that has come to protect you during a time of karmic balance. So that's telling me that there is going to be karma for the people that have wrong done you. Wrong done by you. There we go. Sorry, guys. Now, I'm also seeing here that this is an energy that likes to apparition. So you might see outlines of this person when they're in your space. You might also get flickers of like random lights out the peripheral vision. You might feel like a presence. They usually stand behind you. It's metaphoric. They stand behind you to give you the feelings that they've got your back. It might give you the spook sometimes, like someone's watching you, because the song that I just heard was, what's it called? I always feel like somebody's watching me. And that gives me a bit of a like, icky vibe. You know, I think you could have misinterpreted the things that take place around you that seems paranormal, and you could have had like underlying worries like, is this a good spirit or is this a bad spirit? Don't worry about it too much. Please, pile number 2, if you have contemplated whether what you've seen or what you're sensing is good or bad. It's unfamiliar to you, and when things are unfamiliar, we usually internalize them as signs of a bad thing when it's not. When you become more comfortable with your senses and feeling out intentions, this feeling of uncertainty kind of washes away. You'll know when bad things are around you. You'll know without a doubt. You won't question it. You'll know. So there's nothing to really worry about or fear. For those of you who have had worries of like, I don't know, dark entities around you, they're not. It's your spirit team and this being. You might even feel like someone's stepping towards you sometimes, like something's stepping up on you. It's this being. They kind of like press you when they're like, hey, I'm trying to get your attention, please listen, please pay attention. And the way that they speak to you is usually through your discernment or your instinctual judgments on things. So I'd say that they enhance your ability to understand other people's characters or hidden motives and you know, goals, ambitions, and motivations. You're very good at sensing these things out, and this is a guide that helps enhance your ability to do that. So I think you could have, for those of you who have, you know, been questioning your social circles or like your friendship groups, because what I just saw was like a card from a different deck which tells and says at the bottom to reconsider your alliances, which gave me the idea that you guys have been watching your friend groups. I think some of you guys are trying to source out why things haven't been very balanced recently. 2 seconds, let me just quickly look into this. Why is this important? Because you've had foresight about something that's taking place in your social circles, and you're trying to gain a perspective of what's going on and who's doing what and who's playing what cards. You're being pretty quiet, and I would say that you've been much more observant recently, and this is helping you to see into what has been hidden. It's giving you like a method or a philosophy about what's taking place in your social circles. So please pay attention, because you've been provided with like a clarity that is going to help you to strategize towards either releasing something that you've been struggling to let go of, or it's going to help provide you with clarity about what karma is going to come to those who deserve it in your space. Anyway, moving back into the spirit that is surrounding those of pile number 2. Who is the spirits that surround pile number 2? This is a spirit who is definitely feminine. Definitely feminine, because all the energies that have come through are feminine energy. You have the Dream Walker, you have the Ice Queen, and then you also have the River Queen. So I would say you're definitely deep. You're definitely a feeler. I would say that you're clairsentient. And I would also say that you guys are very creative. You could also think and picture. This is a form of clairvoyance. I would say that you guys also probably have like insightful dreams, and if it's not night dreams, it's like daydreams. What this is telling me most of all is that you would have seen the spirit that surrounds you through your daydreams or through your dreams. You've already been presented an image of who is surrounding you. You could even be getting this now while I'm talking about it. And if you've been thinking like, who is around me? Is it this person? Yes. And the reason why I'm saying that, it might be like, you might be like, well, okay, it's easy to say that. But no, for real, it's the person that's coming to your mind. They're always around you. Always. And they're always trying to catch your attention and let you know that they're there with you and that you're never alone, especially during heartache or heart troubling matters. They are most strong. They are a spirit that is helping you to let go of what holds you back from progress in your life, feeling fulfilled, feeling whole as well. They try to help you to preserve your ideas. I think you're someone who gets a lot of ideas very quickly. You're being encouraged to write them down more, spend more time sitting with them, and if you can't sit with them, write them down and come back to ponder on them later. It'll serve you well. You get a lot of intuitive information from this being in your space, a lot of the time, and it feels like inspired ideas. Like, you don't know where these ideas come from, you don't know where this train of thought comes from. It's this guide. They help to align you into this way of observing energy. It will feel like a form of inspiration that will come to you. It's this guide. They are someone who spent a lot of time in their past life, I would say, working on protecting illusions that keep people comfortable. They don't want to do that in their death state. They don't do that. They help people to confront the truth in the most comforting way possible. Which is why that this being is in your space a lot. You would find that a lot of people are forced to be revealed to you, like their true colors will always show to you, always, always, always. And that's partially because of the spirit guide that's in your space. They state that if anyone wants to get close to you, they too have to be as equally open and vulnerable and honest with you to get that same privilege from you, if that makes sense. And that's part of what they do for you. Who is this person in relation to my viewer? Who is these spirits in relation to my viewer? You have protection come out, and also the hungry ghosts. Protection. Once again, this is a spirit that protects you. They work in part of your, I would say, your spirit team, you know. This is also a being that helps you to become aware of your attachments. So this could be someone that you have grieved over for quite some time as well. Once again, like a lover, a mother, a grandmother, or a caregiver. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what is of the utmost importance that is highlighted by the spirit being in your space. We have inspiration, and then we also have the chess queen coming out here. Inspiration and the chess queen. This, I've already said it to you, so I'm sorry if it sounds repetitive, but this guide is going to help you to find clarity that will allow you to strategize in a way that you trust. And what it's going to do is it's going to come through to you as the feelings of inspiration. So you're going to get heaps of ideas popping up out of nowhere. Please write them down and preserve them for later, because you will find later when you come to revisit them, you're going to think about these things in a completely different way. And this saves you from not forgetting what has already been passed on to you by the spirit that is around you. Does it make sense? Okay. What is this important for pile number 2 to hear at this time? It's important for you to hear because you need to know that you have what it takes to see yourself through situations. This is the goal, the aim, the purpose of this guide being in your space right now, and what they're trying to help you to understand is that you don't need someone else to complete you. You don't need to hold on to what you know keeps you in a space of suffering, in a space of loss, in a place of grief. This is someone who is saying that your potential is absolutely endless, and a good place for you to refocus yourself could be in the direction of exploring your capabilities of your potential. This is someone who's saying to you that you shouldn't be afraid to do something new, to take a risk on yourself, and to explore what you can experience in this lifetime. You've been holding yourself back a lot and admiring certain things outside of you, and your guide is kind of like, why don't you go after what you're attracted to? This is a form of guidance that this spirit enhances for you. They will enhance your attraction to your calling. Does that make sense? And you're learning to trust in that more, and to trust in yourself by knowing yourself better, which is why your guide right now is kind of like, explore yourself, explore your potential, explore your capabilities, and this will give you more direction, or a much more broadened perspective of a direction that you can take that will lead you towards further self-fulfillment. You have all it is that you need to get what it is that you want, and you'll find what you want is not outside of you. What you want is to know yourself. From what I see here, this is something that is a need rather than a want. And this is what this guide has dedicated themselves to helping you to discover your truest self. And your truest self is ever evolving the more you learn about who you are in this lifetime. Which means this is someone who's going to love you and be with you for absolutely ever. And that's another message that they want you to know. Those are the messages I have for you today, pile number 2. Thank you so very much for stopping by. I hope this has come positive service. And with all that being said, until next time, bye. Hello, pile number 3, and welcome to your reading. Thank you guys, okay, for being here today. I don't know what that means. I just got a flash of energy, like swoop in and then come back out, like heaps. I don't know what this is, but what I'm gonna say, sorry for jumping straight in, guys, but what I'm gonna say here is that you have a spirit with you that is helping to empower you into understanding, right? That you're ready to be the change and to step into the change that you were once waiting for, is what I just got. I also think you guys could have had some like haters in the background, or some past projected judgments from others that you were holding on to, and you were taking a bit too like too deeply to your core, to a point where it was affecting your abilities to see the goodness. Like, I don't know, perhaps you've been holding on to judgments that you've been using, and it's been filtering your way of seeing and perceiving yourself, pile number 3. And what the spirits are doing that surround you is they're helping you to embrace what you have been judged for, and use the strengths in what others have only chosen to see the bad of. Does that make sense? Like, for example, here's one. Totally random, so, you know, this might not be applicable to you, but it's the pattern that's important here. So say, for example, as a child, you could have been really good at delegating where it is that people would fit best, what they would be good at doing, things like that. And people outside of you kept telling you that you're bossy and you should take steps back and you should shush and you should listen more and things like this. And you shaped yourself to accustom what you were being told. And I think something here, it became detrimental to you, not gonna lie. It was put very bluntly. It was very detrimental to you, because you didn't see that beneath being called bossy, you were actually a very good leader. And you were just learning and feeling out and experiencing that energy more. I think you're going to find yourself doing a lot of cleansing around things like this, where you were judged very harshly and you shaped yourself to please others. This is something that is cleansing and clearing for you, and that's what's supported by the energies that are surrounding you, from what I'm picking up here and what I heard. I think a lot of you are also middle way walkers. there is no real word that fits how it is that you come in and fall in or contribute to the balance of like things. Say for example, you wouldn't necessarily class yourself as someone who is dedicated and committed to love and light because you see the toxicity that can be found in that. And you wouldn't necessarily say that you are a shadowed person, someone who delves into the darkness of things and blah, blah, blah. No, you're not that either. Instead, you see the necessity of both light and darkness, and you bring them together and walk that middle path. You're called the witness. You're called the watcher. You are part of, I think, a very small amount of people. And the beauty of someone like yourself is you're very flexible. You're very adaptable, and you can move to what is required of you based on how life manifests itself. Your life will happen for you in ways that are accustomed to what is necessary for your soul's growth. And if you can internalize an understanding like that, you start to assess yourself and the way it is that you present yourself and show up in life very differently. And you also start to assess the way it is that you receive or stay receptive to, personalize, think, believe. You start to see the experience of life more like a school. You know what I'm saying? There's a playtime, there's your breaks, your intervals, different classes that you show up for. And when you show up for these different classes, you are introduced to something new within that class every day. This is what life is like, you know. Just an analogy. You're starting to grasp a concept that is very unique to you, in other words. And I think it's very important that you really do move with how it is that your natural way of being is presenting these self-realizations to you, if my previous message didn't resonate. You're learning to really get back in touch with yourself. That's what I just heard. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look into who it is in spirit that surrounds my pile number 3. You guys have a lot of powerful energies surrounding you and high vibrations, because the cards are literally flying out all over the place. So I'm going to have to pause the video while I pick up all these cards, because you have quite a few messages, which is a good thing. 2 seconds, guys. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got the Mirror card, which is number 4. You got stargazing, starseed, Gaia's garden, and spaceship. There's no doubt about it. You guys are connecting to cosmic energies. If you've had suspicions that you're connecting with interdimensional beings, it's absolutely, yes, you are. This is an interdimensional guide that surrounds you. It's something that is not necessarily human. It is existing though. So for example, this could be a pet that has passed over as well. This could be also an inherited legacy for some of you. And I know that sounds strange, but let's just roll with it. I'm just going to go with it and not question it. That you guys could have inherited like a talent that your family or bloodline have had, and you're being called to do more with it. Like this is like a natural talent of like art, singing, creating in some way, writing, problem solving as well. You could have a gift for making music or spreading messages of like, I don't know, life guidance, motivation. You help connect people to different understandings that widens the awareness of intelligence that we have yet to develop. Does that make sense? 2 seconds, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. You guys could also be connecting with interdimensional beings such as like what some would say is fantasy. Say for example, dragons, fairies, mermaids. I just saw a griffin. I think it's a griffin. Looks like a griffin. Pegasus. I'm seeing like what's considered as fantasy make believe. These are actually very real beings for those that aren't aware and think I'm absolutely mental right now. These are very real. They're very interdimensional though. They do manifest in different forms in this realm. We just don't see them that way because we are very much reliant on very logical ways of thinking here. Anyway, so that's just for some of you, you know, whatever it might be that seems fantasy, it's kind of there around you. It's not necessarily all make believe. If you have a child as well who's talking about like their make believe friend, I would listen more carefully. They may be seeing things that you don't see, just so you know. Anyway, moving on. Harass is here surrounding my viewers of pile number 3 before I move on. Your higher self. For some of you, like, you're working with star ancestors. So, like, ETs. They're also interdimensional. They're very real. We'll hear about it. Like, actual full-blown proof. We'll hear about it at some point. I actually had people asking me in my emails if I would do a reading on whether ETs exist or not, and I thought about it and I was like, I don't know if people would be interested in that, and you know what would come through. If you think it's a good idea, please let me know. Anyway, some of you also have a very special connection with Mother Earth. I think you guys connect with the divine feminine or like divine mother. This is for validation for those of you who are connecting with like deities. They're definitely there with you. Just so you know. Okay, so what is the message that is of utmost importance for those who are viewing this pile, Spirit? What would you like to highlight as important for them at this time? You guys have Flourish. You have the Shadow Queen. You have the Nephilim. Can you see this? This is based on the giants. I just heard you needed to hear that. You also have the Golden Ratio. One more, please, Spirit. So I think the last card that came out here was the Chess Queen. Something I've noticed since I opened your guys' reading is that you guys could be getting a little bit distracted and looking more deeply into areas that aren't bringing you results, like that you can use in the physical realm outside of you. The way you've been focusing your energy has been through self-discovery, and that's exactly what's been happening. When you're wanting to bridge divine energy into physical reality, you need to go through a time of internalizing, which is integration of energy, understandings, intellectual expansion, spiritual developments and upgrades, whatever you want to call it, ascension. Yeah, there's a lot. You guys, if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed by spiritual information and downloads, ask the energy to take a step back and move in an organized fashion. They're very obedient. They will listen to you, and ultimately they wish to be heard by you. They wouldn't be in your space otherwise. And take your time working through the energies. Get to know yourself. Internalize what changes are going on and taking place. Ask yourself, take notice of these subtle things. See where your mind goes, see where your beliefs go, and see where your inspirations and imaginations of potential are like when you're working with focused intentions. When you're calling particular beings in, this is one way to start to notice how they are working with you or how they are in alignment. The energy that comes into your space, you will adopt and start to process within yourself. And this is the way of the medium. The medium translates what they're embodying based on what they're picking up on the vibration. And that feels like internalization. And a lot of people misunderstand how this works sometimes. A lot of the time people will have an energy that comes into their space and they will notice all these very quick changes about themselves, and they don't really notice that it doesn't belong to them. They're picking that up based on spirits that could be in their space, content that they are exposed to, discussions that they're having, people that are in their spaces, whatever is in their auric field. It's very important for a medium to become very aware of, because that helps you to become clear with what belongs to you and what doesn't. This is a way of grounding and centering as well. That is something that I see as of importance for you, that this guide helps you with in these energies, most of all. Can you see how this giant has uprooted the tree? This is why this card came into immediate focus for me, because they were telling me about the importance of grounding and recognizing energy, especially if you're intentionally trying to connect with beings, you know, if you're practicing in your mediumship. Anyway, moving on. Another message that's important for you guys is to follow the patterns and synchronicities. Learn. I think you guys could find benefit in learning more about angel numbers or numerology. I see that this will be something that you would flourish in. This could also be talking about astrology. You guys could have a natural gift for astrology, and learning more about the houses of astrology will help you to learn about different areas of life of dominant importance, I guess. Yeah. I see here that whatever and wherever it is that you're lacking trust in yourself or in your life, you are going to kind of bridge the gap with, based on the help that you have from the spirit that is surrounding you. That is their intention right now, is to help you to become more secure within yourself and within your stance in life, by acquiring knowledge that you feel as though you don't have. Go and learn, go and seek the answers to your questions more deeply. And I just heard with rationality, you won't go wrong. Look for the patterns. This spirit rhymes for some of you. You guys might have a natural talent for poetry, writing, singing, music making. For those of you who do, I think it's good that you explore this talent a bit more. You will also flourish in this area. If you've had questions about career directions, I see here that you are going to find something that is best suitable for you based on you looking and evaluating your natural strengths. I think there's something controversial that you've had on your mind that you've wanted to take the risk on or move towards or do something with, but you just haven't really understood the best way to move forward with that. I feel as though you're going to come up with a strategy. that you are comfortable with, that you trust in. And when you find a strategy that you trust in, you can know that that's your sign, that that's the one to go with. But I think the key here is to understand that the beauty about the journey is that you're developing yourself and you're learning and you're growing. You're seeing how you best interact with life and how life can also interact with you, and learning the balance of making the best out of what you're presented with, and you're learning how. So don't see necessarily failures as a failure, because it doesn't have to be. Take it as a learning point. Sometimes when things go wrong, it doesn't mean that you have to give up on it or that it wasn't for you. I've said this before. You know, sometimes it means that it needs to be reapproached in a new way. And if you're learning from the experience that you've been through, you know what went wrong, where, why. And this is how you can start to learn to adapt and evolve things into better ways of being when it's shown to be necessary. That's going to be a form of advice for some of you moving into the next 20 to 30 days. I also think you're going to start to see more reasons to appreciate yourself and what you've been through. This seems to be a repeating thing. I think it's because of the full moon, which is all about release. I think it is. But yeah, I think you guys are going to be seeing your past in very different ways, where you're seeing the goodness, you're going to be seeing more goodness coming out of past failures, mistakes, or bad memories. Does that make sense? And you're going to be seeing things in complete different ways, which means you're going to broaden the ways of your thinking, which will allow you to take on new opportunities. Because everything new, like perspectives, ideas, knowledge, gives you a new starting point, and it's up to you what you do with the information you are acquiring, especially from spirit. And if you don't know what to do with it, keep it for later. Record it in some way or another and come back to it at another time. It might prove itself useful later. And this is also how you learn about how your gifts are working with you. Okay. Anything else of importance for pile number 3? Integration, life lessons, emanation. Yeah, it's just kind of clarifying what I said already, so we can move on. All right. Additional messages for those viewing pile number 3 moving forward. We have the winged wise one, miraculous aid, flow, letting go, natural movement, and blue avians, philosophy, releasing karma and mysticism. You guys have angelic help right now. You're connecting to really high vibrational beings, and what they're wanting to do is they're wanting to help you to move away from what you no longer need to be experiencing. Cycles, repeating situations, types of relationships, ways of thinking in the relationship you share with yourself. You're going to see complete change. One day, sometime soon, and this next month, you're going to wake up and feel like everything is brand new, is what I just heard. And what I heard was be yourself. That's what I heard. I heard also As It Was by Harry Styles. That might not be your kind of music, guys. It doesn't really need to be, though. Look into the lyrics and it will resonate with you in your own ways. Your intuition will help you to interpret what it's going to mean for you. Anyway, pile number 3, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope this has come a positive service. With all that being said, until next time. Hello, pile number 4, and welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. So, I'm going to be doing my best to navigate this, pile number 4. So, thank you for being patient with me around this. But I think you've got a lot of people who have been judging you for the changes you've been making. And because of the changes you've been making, you guys probably have been making really rapid advancements. And if you haven't found yourself doing this yet, you will be soon. I think the spirits that are surrounding you are helping to increase your creativity, the fire within you, your motivation, your drive, your ambitions and motivations. Did I say that already? I'm so sorry. I keep being very pulled into the energies that are surrounding you. So the spirits that are trying to help you come with the purpose of helping to increase your focus and your concentration as well, from what I'm feeling and what I got through the meditation. Of course, we'll explore more soon. I also feel like physical activity is a positive thing for you right now. It helps you to clear your mind. And helps you to like cleanse your palette of effort. I don't know what that means. Perhaps you guys have a lot of responsibilities in many different places of life, and doing things like going for a run, taking time out to watch a film if you're like a media buff, or even creating film is something that is positive for you. I think something else that is positive for you is to stay positive and optimistic about love in general in life. Love for what it is that you do. I think it's important that you guys often take time out to probably evaluate what is important to you and for you. What are your needs? I think this is something that could escape your thoughts very easily and regularly. And I think spirit around you are kind of trying to remind you of the importance of that. Focus in more on what you love to do. It will pick up your energy when you're feeling low, and dispel negative effects on you. Does that make sense? It will redirect your focuses and your energies and your efforts into places that will help to regulate you. Anyway, you guys could have been seeing frogs repeating recently, or the totem of the hawk. The frog is talking about taking leaps in new directions, but it's also about healing through sound and vibration. Speak positivity into your space and only keep positive people around you. You're very sensitive to the company you keep, especially right now, and not everyone deserves to be in your space. Based on what I'm feeling here through the energy that's surrounding you guys, you don't need to really necessarily put more effort into your focuses, your projects, your careers. I think you have a lot of fake people around you. This could be in your career or in your field, career field, same thing. And I'm getting your guys' solar plexus could be affected quite a bit recently. You guys have been doubting your creativity. You have what it takes, and if you don't know that already, that's the advancement that is taking place outside of you. Life is going to start to manifest in ways that will make you prove to yourself your worth, quite literally, and it's going to feel very uncomfortable, and the spirits that surround you are helping to support you through that. Like, you guys could be having to get really creative in life recently because things just keep popping up one after the other. It's happening for a reason, and it's helping you to tap into your capabilities in a safe way where you're not thrown into deep ends in life. That will come later when you're better prepared. The universe is kind of like drip feeding situations that is helping you to learn about what complements you, your craft, your career, things like that. Your creative potential, especially pile number 4. All right, let's go ahead and see. Who is it in spirit that surrounds my viewers of pile number 4, please? We have all must have prizes, number 13. 2 moments. This is someone younger than you. Right, for some of you, if you have lost a child, I deeply apologize, but this is a spirit that surrounds you. 2 seconds. I just need to grab a drink real quick. I got some water. You guys might need to drink water as well. The spirit kind of dehydrates you when they're around. For some of you, and I don't know why that is. I do know why that is. It's because they're a fire spirit. So you might see flames when they're around you. It represents their divinity, is how they would like to present that. Some of you also feel warmth radiating from like the center of yourself. It's your solar plexus. You'll feel like a spinning pickup in just under, in the middle of your rib cage, just under the chest, like, you know, right there. That's another sign that they're around. Also, when you see rainbows, and it could even be like light reflections off of things onto like the floor. You know those little wind chimes that have like the different diamond cut glass, whatever, and when the light hits it in the right way, it creates rainbows. Yeah, that's another sign that they're around. This is someone who is very pure in intention, younger than you, when they would have passed. This could have been a cousin, a friend, especially if you lost a friend in your childhood, like your teens or your childhood. They come and visit you often. For some of you, you also have like an ancestor that came from probably like I don't really know. It's like Victorian era. Because what made me think of that was how her hair is done. Very flowy. You could even see like a woman figure, by the way. Because I just saw a hallway with a woman standing at the end, but she was like kind of grayish looking, transparent. If you saw that, you saw it. You're not going crazy. If you're seeing things, you're not going crazy. Just so you know. This is also someone who kind of works to serve you in times of change. They help to support you. They stand as a backbone. This, I don't exactly know who it is in relation to you. Let me just quickly see. They just said, turn off to the haters. By the way, you have a lot of people judging you for some reason. You made a really big shift or change, and there are people from your past trying to like hate on you because you guys are hitting the mark. Anyway, how is it that surrounds pile number 4? You have a monk or a nun with you for some of you. Some of you, this is like an ancestor who was like a shaman or like a healer of some sort. For some, it was like a scholar. If you have someone in your family who wrote books, was like an author, they are who are with you. You also have someone who has mastery in like weaponry in your ancestry. It could have been bows. They could have even been people who made weapons. I don't know. What's they called? I know what it's called. they could have been really good at creating like tools of protection. This could also represent someone from your past who was like someone who was a crafter of sacred tools. Things like, I don't know, to some cultures, weaponry was sacred. You know, this is giving like the creator of like a tribe, a legacy, a way of being. Someone who was famous in your bloodline or who brought great change to the world. This is someone who could have recorded history or made history as well, and they are around you supporting you. It's part of your destiny to be really successful. Pile number 4, it really is, and whatever it is that you choose to do, especially whatever ignites your most creative energy. Creative energy, don't think about this in the typical way either for those who might be. It's not all about like drawing, painting, I don't know, things like that. Creation is literally everything you do. How you speak, when you breathe, when you sleep, that everything is a creative force, you know. So whatever it is that you choose to do, naturally you're going to be successful in. I think you would find yourself being extra successful if you're thinking of writing a book. You might have a fear of sharing a truth that you've got, but I see that you'll be very successful in doing so. Trust in yourself and strategize in a way that you know is going to help accommodate what is comfortable, but also brings you results and helps you to get somewhere. It's like practical plans. Even if you take small steps, it leads to big results. Remember to practice self-love. Learn to encourage yourself, especially through the times where you feel most anxious or most doubt. 2 minutes. Sorry about that. Pile number 4. My brother needed to sort something out. Anyway, another thing that I noticed that a spirit could be that surrounds you is like someone who is considered as a witch. So if you come from like a native culture or background where witches and shamans were a thing, I see that being a being that is definitely surrounding you and your energy. For some of you who connect to deities, this is like a goddess of like alchemy, witchcraft. This could be like Hecate. Another card came out here. Divine guidance. Yeah, this is telling me that you guys have called upon like a divine being. They are around you. Whoever you've called on, they're definitely there helping to support you. Anyone else that I might have missed that might be surrounding my pile number 4? A princess. For some of you, you guys might have you could have like connections to like a chief or a past royal or someone of status and power in past time, and that's who is connecting with you and who is surrounding you as well. But for others of you, if you call on your higher self or your guardian angel, most of all, that's who is that is the energy that is most present and dominant around you, that has messages for you. So let's go ahead and jump into the message of utmost importance that is highlighted by spirit around you. I just heard whakarongo, which in my native tongue means listen. Listen to your own good advice, pile number 4. Listen to the advice that you'll give to someone else that you care about if you found them in your own shoes. Do this frequently. Self-counsel, 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 self-nurture, self-counsel. They go hand in hand. Be your own best friend. Rather than being an a-hole to yourself, understand yourself. For some of you, this is a very passionate energy that's coming through right now, so I'm sorry if I come across like any sort of way that I'm not intending to. I'm just trying to bridge and channel the energy that I'm picking up on. I just also heard there are people in your space that you shouldn't have in your space. It's time to make new friends. And even if that means like Perhaps some of you guys are sharing too much of yourself with the wrong type of people. And when I say wrong, I don't mean there's anything inherently wrong with those people. It could just be simply something more like those people aren't aligning with you and your authentic self, which ultimately brings you back and brings you down, because it will make you have to filter yourself to make them happy and keep things balanced and situated. You guys need to drink more water. There's two spirits now that have said the same thing. Sorry. Some of you guys are real cheeky as well. Your humor and cheekiness enhances when you're by yourself and this energy is around. That's how you'll know if this message is for you as well. Please reconsider your alliances. They're bringing you down. Even if you have to be alone for a while, be your own best friend. It's better to be in true company than, you know, company that's just not good. Anyway, message of utmost importance for those viewing this part. What I heard as well is you guys might get some unexpected visitors over the next 30 to 80 days in particular. Unexpected visitors could also be spirit, by the way, so just be aware of that. You guys could be introduced to new energies, new types of people, very vast experiences that are very far from your own, energies that are very outside of your own, and it might be hard to kind of internalize and understand very well or clearly. Just be aware of that. You guys are about to go through changes, or you have been going through changes, and you've been identifying how it has deeply affected you. So change can, even though when positive, it can still be painful, and it's okay to be at a point in your journey where you need to nurture yourself more. And I think that's a point of strong advice that you guys need to know. Things are going to come back into balance, and you're going to find wisdom in the suffering or in the struggles that you guys have been growing through. And even when you felt stagnant, it's not really been stagnancy. It's been little setbacks. But these little setbacks are almost propelling you forward. You just don't see that yet. Something you thought finished is going to burst back into life. So yeah, perhaps there was sudden changes that you weren't expecting, and something very abruptly changed, and it caused a bit of discomfort or like a hiccup along the road. But I see everything's going to be okay. There's nothing you need to worry about. You guys are going to be successful no matter what you do, where you go, or where you apply your best efforts. I see that you guys feel as though you could have been making mistakes in your recent past, and I see you guys putting in the effort to correct what is needed, what is necessary, you know. And this is something that is of utmost importance for you, because you guys are learning to be free of how it's been affecting you and holding you back. Another message of importance for the viewers of pile number 4. This is an omen. It just fell on the floor. For those of you who are holding on to forms of regret and grief, you guys, the reason why this is happening is because there's a resistance to letting go of the past. When this card usually arises, it usually brings a message that you guys are attached to a form of self-suffering. And please don't judge those words. Don't misjudge those words. What I mean by that is you guys are limiting yourself through holding on to things that are harming you. And I think something that is of utmost importance that you guys know is that you can cease the suffering that you guys are going through by lessening the importance of what you have been forcing in your focus. Does that make sense? There's things that you've been struggling to uphold in your life that you need to be more honest about and with. This could be your emotions with people outside of you. Perhaps you guys just, yeah, I'm hearing that a lot of you guys are needing an opportunity to truly express yourself, and there are people around you who won't allow you to do that. Be yourself. These are the people that you need to step away from. This will also help to pick up the energy that surrounds you, because you won't have so many negative influences or contributions outside of you. Such a curious dream. This is all about grounding. So you guys could have also been drawn to another pile, or you could have come from another pile. This is reclarifying a message that has already been said to you. That's not for all of you. So if you have been drawn to another pile, definitely go and check that out once you're finished here. Otherwise, guys, sorry. Those of you who have been going through cycles of grief, it's because of what you've held on to and placed too much importance on in your focuses, in your beliefs, in your emotions, in your mind. And something that is going to be helpful for you to practice in is grounding, coming home to yourself, reminding yourself that you are an individual who is learning and doing the best and growing the best way you can each and every day, just like each and everyone else, you know. I think lessening the pressures on yourself and discovering what you can do and what you love, and adventuring and exploring what life has to offer you, is going to lead you into a new direction of finding connections that are complementary to you, feeling like you have relationships that are true and sincere and genuine. You'll find communities that will support you in being yourself, and environments and opportunities when you release all that does not do that for you. I think you've recognized quite a few different things that haven't been so fulfilling or true to you anymore, and that's something that you need to let go of. The more you work on releasing your past, or seeing the life lessons that have come from the past memories that you hold on to, will also be a form of soul retrieval. And soul retrieval is accepting your wholeness now. Understanding that holding on to these memories and reflecting on them do nothing good for you right now. Using the past to justify poor behaviors in the now, especially from others or for yourself, that you've noticed you could have been in a habit of. And that's not to feel guilty or anything. It's more just recognizing the truths that are existing and outstanding and accepting them. Once you do that, you'll find conditions will fall away. Things that you felt were holding you back or defining you and your path will have lesser of an effect. Your past will not be remanifesting because it won't be in your dominant focus. Your most intense emotions, which then projects it into your concentration, which creates vibration and attracts in manifestation. That might not necessarily be the full cycle, but it's important points that I see stand out that you will resonate with. And focusing in on these cycles will also help you to redirect these energies. It will help you to take like a leadership position over your own cycles and contributions to these cycles. And I don't know how that applies. It might not apply to anyone at all. Anyway, why is this of importance for those who are viewing this pile? It's important because it's going to help you to step into self-mastery. You guys are going to feel definitely outside of your comfort zone. You guys are going to feel very outside of what you are used to when you, just outside of what you are used to. It's going to feel very unknown. And I don't know, you might almost feel beside yourself, but take these times and these discovery opportunities and experiences as just that. An opportunity to discover and grow and learn about yourself and see what happens based on what you choose to do. You guys are going to be definitely exploring your free will much more, and this is going to be empowering you as well. It will also ground you and help you to get back in touch with what is most meaningful to you, and help you to put into motion just that. So yeah, that's how you're going to declare a form of freedom. and also help you to appreciate the freedom it is that you truly do have. And this is going to change the way you see your world. You guys could also find yourself going to a new place over the next 30 days. You guys could also be presented with a choice to travel or stay where you are. You guys could get an opportunity that's a bit further away from yourself, and it's important that you make the independent decision to do what you know is best for you. Trust in yourself to make the best decision. Go in the direction where life is supporting you to. Go in the direction that encourages you to take care of yourself, your dreams, your hopes, your ambitions, and your health. Those are the messages I have for you today. Thank you so very much for stopping by, and with all that being said, until next time. Bye guys. Hello, pile number 5, and welcome to our reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. You might see me getting a little bit closer to the camera. It's because I have people sleeping in the house, so I don't want to be too loud, but hopefully you guys can hear me. So I spend a little bit of time in meditation with the energy that's surrounding you guys, and I noticed that for some of you guys that are here, the person that's in your space is in your space because you hold the guilt surrounding this person, and that's going to resonate with all of you differently. There could be a guilt that you guys didn't get to say goodbye. There could be a guilt that there was an outstanding issue. There could be a guilt for any reason whatsoever. And whoever you carry that guilt for is the person that's in your space. I think they come into your space to help you set yourself free of guilt by trying to infuse love into your ways of thinking, into your ways of remembering, and into your thoughts and feelings. I also feel like this is a being that likes to affect music, and also manifests as animals around you. There could be a particular animal that reminds you of this person, and when it manifests around you, that's how you know that this person is with you. Sorry I can't be more specific about that, but you'll know exactly who it is based on what I've just shared with you. For others of you, let's go ahead and see who it is that surrounds you in spirit. You guys have the Ice Queen. It's a feminine energy. Most of you guys have a feminine energy around you. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean a female, but the one that I'm picking up on right now that is wanting to come through is definitely a feminine energy. So we have the Ice Queen, and we also have the Shadow Queen. Then you have Flourish. So this is someone who had learned to master the best and the worst of themselves. During their incarnation, they would have gone through a lot of extreme experiences of different versions or eras of themselves. But ultimately, before they passed, they learned what they loved. They learned, and more so was appreciative of what has grown and cultivated from their experiences, with the Flourish being here. I would also say that this is someone who probably shared a lot of wisdom in their lifetime, with the owl being in the background of this card. If you can see, hopefully you can. And this is someone who acquired a lot of knowledge from their very vast different experiences. They could have passed on a lot of wisdom to people outside of them before they passed on. They shared a lot of stories about their life experiences. And I think something that they really were very strict about were you kind of making yourself your priority, making your life, your hopes, your dreams your priority, doing what you love, taking care of yourself and the longevity of your life. Because the other card that came out here to clarify these three were the mural card. This is someone who wants you to see your life as a work of art, in other words. They would have been someone who you would have spent time with in your younger years, in your childhood. From what I just heard here, they encouraged your talents and your strengths. This could have been someone who has passed over that really believed in what you were good at. And they really did want you to mature in your natural gifts into skills. Sorry. This is someone that you had also spent time with you in some of your good and some of your worst of times. They were there when they needed to support you and love you and nurture you, and then they were also there when you needed to be disciplined. You know, some I just heard needed to be pulled into check, like into line. They knew when you were lying and when you were telling the truth. This is giving a parental figure, or a nana, or like a grandfather. This is someone who nurtured and knew who you really were. So I'd say this is someone who is very close to you, someone that you've grieved over quite a lot. I think for someone here, there is someone who was very close to them that went through an accident that could have been preventable. They want you to know that they want you to be sensible. I don't know what that means. Whoever went through the accident wants you to be sensible, because they don't want you going through the same thing that they went through, and perhaps you could be going down pathways or making decisions that were very alike to the person who has passed over that is in your space, and they just want you to be wise. Take care of yourself. Think twice is what I just heard. That's just for some of you. Please don't take it if that doesn't resonate with you. You'll know if it's you, because you would have been making decisions that you wouldn't normally make. And anyway, some of you, this guide appears as a deer. This could have been someone in life who was into hunting, guns, guns and hunting animals. But at the same time, if not, this could have been someone who was a very strong advocate. They could have been a veterinarian, animal saver, I don't know, stood up for animals' rights, worked for an animal shelter, I don't know. Could have adopted a lot of animals from the shelter, taken in rescues, things like that. Felt close. This person could have felt closer to animals than what they did to most people and humans. And I just saw the snake totem as well. Yeah, they could have also experienced a lot of betrayal in their life. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to what message it is that they have for you guys today that is of utmost importance at this time of your viewing. From the spirits that are surrounding the viewers of pile number 5, please. You have Alice in the Sea of Tears. No, why? And then we have It's Always Tea Time. Oh, why? You guys are feeling outside of your depth, or feeling left alone. You guys could be feeling like you guys are lacking guidance, support. You guys could feel like there's no one outside of you that can give you more than what you already have or know. You could also feel as though you keep being put into situations where you were thrown in the deep end, and you feel as though things are outside of your I don't know, comfortability almost. I don't know. Things seem really repetitive, and perhaps some of you guys feel as though you're not going anywhere, or you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. You guys are still grieving for some of you, and I'm so sorry if you've most recently lost someone, or even if it wasn't recent and you've had a hard time healing from that. Spirit is saying, even though you're having a hard time moving on from this loss, you need space from grieving. It's okay to get back out there and experience life in the ways that you deserve to. Say, for example, if you lost someone, like a husband, a partner, it's okay to get back out there. After a time of healing and, you know, a respectable time that is comfortable for you, it is okay to get back out there and experience life in new ways. Perhaps you had shut yourself off from the world for quite some time after losing quite a few different people in your life. But Spirit is saying the time has come for change, to be the change, which seems to be a message from another pile. So you could have come through from another pile, but if not, it's irrelevant. You could have been drawn to another pile as well. But anyway, yeah. Okay. So you guys are receiving a lot of messages through nature. Spirit talking to you through the animal kingdom for some of you. Spirit come to you in the form of spirit totems, animals. Animals might work extraordinarily in partnership with you. It's important that you pay attention to the animals that get close to you and almost feel like attracted to you, and learn about them. Tapping into the knowledge of animal totems might be a gift of yours, and if it's not animal totems, it's tapping into animal totem medicine. You guys might be being encouraged to work more with this and your understanding of animals. For others of you, you guys feel as though you're under pressure or like in a race. Please understand that happiness is something that you choose to be, rather than being something that you are. Choosing happiness is something that is possible regardless of condition, by making the best out of what it is that you have and being grateful for where it is that you're at, what you've got, who you are, who you're with, where you are. Appreciating the small things and appreciating everything. This is happiness. And I think the spirits that are surrounding you find it important for you to grow past the pains that you've held on to that has hindered your ability to choose happiness. They want what's best for you. They want you to live a life that you love. What message does pile number 5 need to hear, please, Spirit? Okay. You might feel like life has been very confronting recently, and you feel like certain situations keep manifesting, that keeps leading you into places that you don't want to be. Spirit is saying right now that there are deeper meanings and reasons for things that have been taking place right now, and it's important that you have trust and faith that everything is going to work out. And if you want to, and you trust in the power of manifestation, something I would suggest that you might be able to do is to affirm often, especially when you are confronted with doubt, that you have trust and faith that everything is going to work out even better than what you can think of for yourself. That places the power back into the universal balance, and allows things to unfold the way that it needs to. And then it's up to you how you choose what comes as a result, how you choose to internalize that, take that on, take it in, and use it. How you allow it to affect you, whether you choose to see the good in it or the bad. You're taking back control over your power of perception. This is going to help to remotivate you to reapproach things in new ways. And it will also help you to feel comfortable with embracing your natural powers. I think you're also finding within your challenges that it's pushing you into your best forms of growth, and through this growth you're gaining a lot of wisdom. Please don't apply too much pressure on yourself to heal and feel happy either. Like, just because you're hearing me say this, I could be talking about in time when you are ready, and that will be different for everyone. You know, just know that Spirit would not hold against you your choice to live life. That's why you're incarnated. That's why you're alive now, because you're here to experience life. Alright, so why is this important for power? 5 to know. So as I looked down just before, I saw the number 1515. This could have a numerology meaning for you that you guys can go and look into, because the message behind that numerology meaning will be interpreted differently for all of you. Anyway, that's why I can't be too specific with that, because it will mean something different for all of you. Okay. One thing I will say about it though, 1515 is all about you taking independent action towards supporting the changes that you wish to see. And the card that came out here was this card here, which is all about manifestation, perception, attunement, trusting in what you love, what you believe in, strategizing towards what you can, and learning to bring things together. With come together being here, you're learning how to use all of your strengths in new ways that will help you to manifest fulfillment for some of you. And fulfillment is going to start with your free will, your choice to have better, to be better, to experience better, to feel better, to accept that you deserve love, and that you deserve to allow people back in. And that's what Spirit around you really wish to remind you, that they're highlighting of utmost importance for you. Any additional messages before we close the reading for pile number 5, please? The card that came out here is you must choose. Choose yourself. Choose wholeness and happiness. Choose a life of fulfillment and start to work towards that. You deserve it. Put the effort back into you instead of into grieving what once was. Celebrate all that you can remember. Celebrate what you loved. And this will change everything. Those are the messages I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope this has come a positive service. And with all that being said, until next time, so much love, so much support. Bye-bye. Pile number 6, hello and welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. You guys might be hearing a lot of ringing recently, like high-pitched noises, or you could have been really sensitive to technology recently, like PowerPoints, light, static, sound in general. You guys could be really sensitive to that at the moment. That's because the spirits that are surrounding you are enhancing your clairaudience and just your senses in general. You guys are hypersensitive right now from what I just heard. The spirits that are surrounding you, from what I picked up on in meditation pile number 6, were the spirits of enforcers, avengers, protectors, warriors. I would not want to do wrong by you. And I don't know why they're with you just yet. But they're very strong. They're very committed to you and your bloodline. I would say that they could be a part of your ancestry. And I'm not sure you would know who this is directly. To other cultures, this could be interpreted to be as a demon because of how powerful they are and the reason why they're with you. They're protectors, which means they appear scary and defensive to those who might not understand themselves and their true underlying intentions, motives, or what it is that they really do. You are someone who chooses to see the best in people, and I think you guys face a lot of life with like humor. You try to probably lighten darker things. You know what I'm saying? The spirits that surround you, they also, I would say, they enhance you knowing what you want. They refocus you very quickly. Like, especially if you're going down a path that is not for you, you'll find that karma manifests very, very quickly. So I see you as very, not law-abiding, but you're very morally developed. And I think you are people who live very strongly and in accordance with your morals, which is why this being protects you and chooses to. If you're worried about like things like spell casting and stuff like that, I wouldn't worry too much because this is a guide that jumps on that very, very quickly. Very quickly. You know, they bring death to what does not belong to you, quite literally. If people try to like project evil on you, it's not going to work. It's going to get sent back tenfold, and then they're going to get their asses whooped by probably your ancestors, your guides, your guardians, whoever this is. I don't think you know who this is in particular, but they're who are around you right now. I would say this is someone who is mastered in their own self-awareness, so they're fully enlightened and ascended. They are people who help bring you present and help you to gain an understanding of the future. So you guys might get premonitions when the spirit is around you. You might also connect to past life wisdom, ancestral wisdom, experiences, whichever way that might manifest for you. You might see it, you might feel it, you might remember it quite literally, or you might just internalize it through your senses in some way, imagine it for some. For others of you, this is a guide that enhances your awareness of how to use energy to create protection methods. Some of you cast out evil spirits, is what I just heard quite literally, with the help of this entity, this being, this protector, this guardian, quite literally. It's so potent in power that some might see it as an evil force that surrounds you, that tells you about their intentions or hidden motives, or how they are in alignment with the relationship they share with themselves. So if people see your energy as evil, take it as a sign that this person isn't meant for you anyway. Okay. Anyway, so let's go ahead and see who is this being that is in the space of my viewers of pile number 6. They are, the protection card just came out here. They are a protector. They help, they are quite aggressive to people who deserve that. Otherwise, they come across very optimistic through you. 2 seconds. We have music. Interesting. So this is a guide that could also manifest through music. They could make you think of random songs, lyrics, or make your clairaudience enhance when you need to listen to certain lyrics of songs that are playing outside of you. Like, you won't be paying attention, and all of a sudden, halfway through one song that's playing on the radio, you all of a sudden become hyper fixated and focused on what's being said in the song, and it catches your full attention. Those are the parts of songs that you need to listen to, because it's either providing you with a feeling, insight, knowledge, or direction, and your guide is making you pay extra attention to it because it's a message from them. Does that make sense? What else? For some of you, you guys have automatic writing abilities, and when you're automatically writing, you're connecting to this energy. You might not consciously know this, but if you practice more in your automatic writing abilities, you can set intentions to who you wish to connect to and bring messages through from. You might do this already. I also see this as a being who is actually very selfless, not evil by nature. If anything, they're a divine protector. They experience divine rage when there is great injustice. So if anyone has deeply betrayed you in the past, just know that they're getting or have already gotten karma, quite literally, whether you've seen it or not, or whether you've heard about it or not. Some of you are very good at predicting karma of other people as well. So this is someone who is giving a much more masculine energy compared to feminine. I would say this is part of your ancestry or your soul family. They definitely connect to you through sound the most, with music being here. And another way that they connect with you is through your monologue, your internal dialogue. Is that, yeah, the way you talk to yourself. If you hear a different voice, that's this guide. And it's not in the way of like schizophrenic. Doesn't work quite like that. It's more, it comes through the form of like self-counsel, self-talk, and how you like have a conversation with yourself, but you hear yourself slightly different. It's this guide. It's not like someone who's telling you to do something to yourself or to others. It's not going to be an energy that invokes fear, concern, worry. You know what I'm saying? If anything, they make you feel like you're being held safely in the palm of some hands. It feels like a very parental energy, or someone who is very protective over you in general, and that could be because your energy is very, I don't know, it's very precious to this being, which is why they're so like viciously protective of you. Anyway, what is the message that is of utmost importance that they wish to pass on to my viewers, please? Of pile number 6, what is the message of utmost importance that you guys spend time working through your own disbeliefs of life right now? You guys could have some doubts or had doubts, and I believe for others of you, you guys are gaining a fresh perspective of what it means to be completely present in your reality. You're starting to accept what is really being shown to you outside of you. There are things that you could have been in denial of. For example, you guys could have been a really strict skeptic, and that's going to be changing, or your beliefs about what is possible has evolved and is changing, and you're going to see situations that will manifest outside of you that will make your disbelief almost unquestionable, just so you know. Because with the grounding card coming out here, this is telling me that your third dimension is going to be affected or impacted. So that means quite a lot of things that will astound you or leave you in disbelief is going to take place, and it's probably going to be around advancements within your career, your talents, or discovering something that you didn't know you could do. It's going to help to set you in a whole new life direction, and if anything, it's going to help you to see life completely differently as well. You guys could be developing or wanting to tap into a new skill that you could recognize that you guys had. What is the message of most important for a message that is important from this being that surrounds you guys in spirit is they want you to understand reasons why you should appreciate your life more, with my life is sweet being here and the nature communication coming out here. This is saying that there's going to be a closure or completion that has come to something that has stagnated your sense of balance, security, stability, predictability. Like perhaps there's something that you couldn't make plans around for quite some time. Yeah, there was a reason why things weren't moving forward in the way that you wanted them to. If you had proceeded down a path in the way that you were prior to now, and how you were evolving, things that you were working on and wanted for yourself would have fallen through, which is why things felt stagnated, which is why you could have felt blocked off or cut off from the result of something that you were working really hard on cultivating. You were changing inside of yourself, and that was the last step. That was what was needed to completely solidify the results you've been hoping for. So know that if you've been waiting on a manifestation, the spirits that are around you are telling you and assuring you that it's unexpectedly going to come to be in ways that you didn't necessarily expect it. So go with the flow right now and trust in yourself to respond accordingly to life in ways that are most appropriate. Trust in yourself. Results are going to come to you when you least expect it, by the way, with this card being here, because this is all about sudden changes, you know. And with the animal messages for a rabbit being here, this is saying you'll be doing something that is outside of the results you were hoping for when the results show. And it might show in a way that is least expected. So if you have any opportunities that pop up over these next 30 days, please go along with it and explore it and see how you can make it your own. See how you can be more of yourself in everything it is that you do as well, because you're discovering your truest version of self and truest potential of capability right now. You belong doing what you have doubted you should be doing. Quite literally, especially when it comes to career, hobby, or talent, or skill set, and you've given up on practicing in something that you're naturally talented at and that you should be doing. And this is saying get back to it. It's time to get back to it with no nonsense coming out here. Stop talking yourself out of what you know you're here to do. Believe in yourself. Claim who you are. Be unapologetically who you know you are, and that's the most important thing here. Don't worry about what consequences might come to be. If it's consequences that aren't fair to you, this being and your spirit team are going to protect you and make sure you are kept safe. Yeah, because you need some space from the thoughts of negativity. You really do. The way you have partnerships with your mind recently has been affecting you negatively. You don't need to be pleasing other people. You need to be living in accordance to your authenticity. And that's going to require you making some changes. But you're at a crossroad because you're going to be placed with choices of you choosing who you want to be. Quite literally. You're not going to be living to please anyone else anymore, and you shouldn't. And that's why this message is important. You shouldn't be doing what other people expect of you, because it hinders your ability to achieve what you are here to achieve and to explore your greatest potential. If you're living for other people and their requirements and requests, you'll never have the space and time to discover what you are best at, what you love, what is important to you, what is most meaningful to you. Everyone is a little different. So for some of you here, another message of importance is that if you are wanting to do something that you've seen a lot of other people do, don't worry about it. Go and do what you were guided to do and felt called to do anyway. That calling is going to come through a form of desire within yourself. Do it. If you are creating something, especially and other people are creating it, know that you are going to create it in your own individualistic way, in your own original way, even if it's the same thing that everyone is doing. Say, for example, you're in a painting class, everyone is told to paint a car, everyone is going to paint their car different. You know, the style of car is going to be different. It's kind of like this concept. Whatever you do, the way you express it, the way you internalize it, understand it, pass it on, is going to be completely unique to you. And those who it will help, it will reach. Those that don't need it, it won't meet their stratosphere. You know what I'm saying? It won't meet them. It won't find them. It won't seek them. And yeah, you have nothing to fear here. This is saying believe in yourself and you'll see results come come to be. So those are messages I have for you today, pile number 6. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope this has come positive service, and with all that being said, until next time.